My name is Gerald. I'm an addict.
Hey, Gerald.
And it's only through God's love, grace, infinite wisdom, care, and understanding I haven't found the necessary plenty drugs in my body to deal with my feelings today. For that, I'm truly grateful. I got high because of my feelings, and today I still don't know how to deal with them, but I just don't have to get high behind them. Um, can we take a moment of silence so God can work through me as a conduit to give a clear message of Narcotics Anonymous? Because sometimes I'll share out my disease and forget what I'm sharing and my purpose is. So a moment of silence, please. Thanks. Again, my name is Gerald. I'm an addict. My topic today is getting out our own way. And I got a lot of experience with that because, for many, many years in my life, I've been in my own way. And I'm gonna say this: my clean date is 8/22/02, and last year I celebrated 10 years. But right before my 10 years getting clean, I had a whole bunch of setbacks and hardships going on in my life. And one of the things that happened, I had a stroke last year. And that was devastating for me. I couldn't talk. I got laid off from my job during that time, and then I was in this long-term relationship, and I ended up losing this relationship. And part of the reason why I lost this relationship is because I wanted to fix, manage, and control everything and be the master of the whole plantation. Instead of just being someone's mate, I wanted to be the master of everything. And then I ended up losing my job, getting laid off from my job, and I'm going to tie that into getting out my own way. Then I lost my car, and then I became homeless, and then I became penniless. And this was like in a 6-month period, right before I celebrated my 10 years clean. I always hear people say, no matter what, stay clean, no matter what, because, if I had used, it would have just got that much worse. So I stayed clean no matter what. But all that happened, I felt like I was a failure. In the literature, it talks about, in the basic text, it talks about there's something in our self-destructive personalities that cries out for failure. Most of us feel like we do not deserve to succeed. This is a common theme with addicts. Self-pity is one of the most destructive defects. It will drain us of all positive energy. We focus on everything that isn't going our way and ignore all the beauty in our lives. With no real desire to improve our lives or even to live, we keep going further and further down. Some of us never make it back. So I know what it's like to get caught up in that self-pity piece. Because when I was caught up in the self-pity piece, depression set in and I wanted to kill myself. I got to a point it became real dark in my life. But it also says in the new book, it says how often we succeed or fail is not the measure of our program. Our setbacks don't have the power to define us. Failure is experience, strength, and hope in disguise. It is incredibly important to learn the difference between failing at something and being a failure. So I know that when these setbacks and this stuff happen in my life don't mean that I'm a failure. But something about my self-destructive personality always cries out for failure. I was talking to my friends from St. Louis about a relationship that I was in, and I was in this relationship for 3.5 years, and the first few months in the relationship, this female cheated on me. But because I'm afraid of being alone, because I didn't see the warning signs, or I didn't want to look at the signs that was going on, I chose to stay in the relationship. And the more I stayed in the relationship, the worse it got. You see, I was given a sign to move the hell on out the way and go on about my life. But me, because I can't get out my own way, I chose to stay in it. I chose to try to make the relationship better. I chose to say, hey, look, it only happened one time. It may not happen again. But not knowing, can't see in the future, not knowing that the destruction that it caused inside of me. Because, man, look, I'm a little boy on the inside. And sometimes that little boy just wants to be loved. And when I want to be loved, because, Don was talking about, because of love I can't give myself, I seek out love in different avenues. So I thought the love that she had for me will overcome the cheating that happened in the relationship. See, all trust was gone the minute that she told me I slept with somebody else. It was like, it's like my ego took a hit. My manhood took a hit because I began to think that I'm not good enough. I'm not cute enough. I don't make love to her good enough. So therefore, she had to find somebody else. But I got to realize that her cheating had nothing to do with me. Her cheating was something that she chose to do. It had everything to do with her. I'm talking about, man, getting out my own way. It wasn't until after I found out some things about me that I found out some things about her. Because I know, I was telling my friend today, and my friend has always told me this, if I want a certain type of woman, I need to become a certain type of man because I only attract what I am. Yep. So if I'm attracting chaos and confusion, that means that I'm full of chaos and confusion. See, thank God that I have a program of recovery that I can find the answers to all the problems that I'm having in my life. In spite of me even having the answers, I always don't follow the answers. It talks about in here, it says, some of us never get where we're meant to go. And it does not mean there's anything wrong with our recovery. We're not staying clean for the rewards. Though staying clean can be very rewarding, whatever gifts we do not receive, do or do not receive, we do well to remember that there's nothing wrong today that a case of withdrawal won't make worse. So that's telling me that even though I don't succeed in some areas in my life, it's okay. I don't have to use behind them. Because for me, using is always an option. Always. The minute I stop coming to meetings, the minute I stop sharing honestly in meetings, the minute I stop doing all the things that I need to do to stay clean, using becomes a good option. Because the literature tells me that the ultimate problem was myself. And the major problem is the drugs. So if I don't take care of the ultimate problem, I'm definitely going to go back to the major problem. That's getting high. We all experience loss and hardship at some point in our recovery. And if we are not willing to accept that part of the process, our desire for success turns insidiously into a reservation. That means sneakily, it will be like a reservation for me to go out and get high if I don't accept the good and the bad in my recovery. So when I got sick and lost all those things and I really wanted to kill myself instead of using, if I didn't come to a process and come to a point in my life that I had to accept that those things happen, because the first thing I want to say is, why me? Mm-hmm. And I always should be saying, why not me? Mm-hmm. Who am I for hardships and stuff not to happen in my life? I'm a recovering addict just like anybody else up in here. That's right. So I live a life, because this kind of stuff happen to people who ain't in a program every single day. But me being an addict, and having the disease thinking that I have, I blow it up and say, oh my God, my life is over. If we are ashamed by the difficulty we're going through or feel that we cannot be honest about our struggles, our relationship with the fellowship will suffer no matter how much clean time that we have. So if I don't come up in here and tell y'all what's really going on with me, I'm not talking about the stuff that I need to tell y'all. I'm talking about the stuff I'm not talking about. That's the shit that get me high. The shit I'm not talking about in meetings. So if I don't come in here and express how I really feel and tell y'all how I really feel, I got a big old problem going on inside of me. So I try to come up in here and be honest to the best of my ability. And I understand that honesty is the antidote to my disease thinking. So I try to keep the focus on me and try to talk about what's going on in my life, because I remember I shared for like a whole year about this relationship. And I'm still sharing about it today because, you know, I'm not fully over it. Right. I still got some feelings behind that. Because when I met her, I thought she was the one. I thought, man, all other women don't even matter no more. But see, because I don't accept myself fully on the inside, I don't love me all the way, I can never fully love somebody else. This process in the friendships that I've built in this process. See, I got some friends in my life. They don't love me to death. They love me to live. I got some friends in this process who will tell me about me. I got some people in my life who will tell me about me. And if I don't listen to them and I stay in my own way, nothing but chaos and confusion is going to ensue. And I understand that today. What I do understand more than anything else is that I have a disease called addiction. And only the 12 steps and the 12 traditions can help me through that process. I'm working on my 4th step right about now. And I came to I'm at the resentment parts of it. And what I'm seeing in those resentments is that I resent me for the things that I did to me more than anyone else. Now, I had some stuff in my 4th step that when I was a kid I couldn't help. But when I became a certain age and started making decisions on my own, I can no longer blame you for the decisions that I made. So when I supposed to took a left and I took a right, whose fault is that? That's my fault. I'm going to let y'all know something. That I still have some behaviors at 10 years clean that I'm not proud of. I still got some behaviors at 10 years clean I'm not proud of. You know, because I don't know how to be a mature adult sometimes. I don't know how to let things just go. See, I have to always leave claw marks in every situation that I'm in. I always got to punch holes in every situation I'm in. That's including relationships, friendships, sexual relationships, relationships with my family members. I'm talking about relationships in general. See, well, one of the things that I had to learn is that one of the most important relationships I have to get into is a relationship with God, and another important relationship I got to get into is a relationship with my disease. I have to find out what my disease know about me, because, man, my disease know me better than I know myself. It'll have me in a situation where I don't even realize. It was talking about how insidious it is. It'll have me in a situation I don't even realize before, like when it's too late. And when it gets too late, I'm like, damn, I'm right back here again. Not knowing how I got there, but at the same time, knowing how I got there. Man, this disease is, man, this is a cold game, man. But Narcotics Anonymous is an even colder game. Now, I came in here, man, I came in here scared, unsure who I am, broken. But today, I feel good today at this moment. But I don't know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. I might be scared, unsure, and broken 5 minutes from now. I just need y'all to understand this. That my life today is a lot better than it was a few years ago. It's a whole lot better. No matter what I've gone through, despite the struggles I've had, it is so much better. But there's times that I'm mad at me. Because I feel like I should have had my college degree a long time ago. I feel like both times I went to school, I should have graduated. You know, I had an opportunity to get my real estate license, but I'm scared to. I had an opportunity to go back to college, but I'm scared to. I'm scared of failing at getting those things. Knowing I know those things will improve my life much greatly, but I'm so afraid that fear has me paralyzed. And I can identify that it's fear that's paralyzing me, but shit, I don't want to do shit about it. I don't want to take the risk. And it talks about in here taking risk. And I'm scared to take the risk because it's like, man, I've taken some risk in my life, and what I got was some not good rewards. So I struggle with taking risk in my life. You know, I'm so afraid right now. I'm so afraid of being hurt in anything that I do that I'll sit back and I'll be paralyzed by the fear of not trying something different. But in spite of all that, I know because I see y'all come up in here with criminal records, come off the streets and get degrees and get good things in your life. Buy new cars because some of that shit I'm jealous of. I ain't gonna sit it back and lie. I'm jealous of some of y'all successes. I see some of y'all doing the damn thing. I was like, damn, I wish that could be me. It can be me if and only I take the opportunity to do something different. I don't want to say I'm lazy. I don't want to say I'm lazy because I'll get up and I'll work. I will work when I have opportunity. I'll work some steps. I'll do some stuff in my life. So I wouldn't say I'm lazy, but I do know that fear is a component in my life that grips me and terrifies me. It terrifies me more than any horror movie I've ever seen. But I'm trying to get better in that area. So by working this 4-step, I can identify some stuff that's really going on in my life. I don't have to allow the things from my past to dictate my future. Because I'll allow things that happen in my past to dictate my future. And I know I have a bright future because I'm staying clean. The literature talks about, man, sometimes staying clean is not enough, man. And sometimes I have to be challenged sometimes in my life in order to get some of the things that I need in my life. I have to begin to challenge me. I have to begin to say, hey, look, Gerald, this is just not enough. This just is not working out. 5 minutes, okay. So, in the realm of being challenged, I have to prioritize what I want in my life. The number one thing I want is to stay clean, no matter what. But there's some other things that I want in my life that I need to work on. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for understanding me. Because I sometimes don't understand me to the fullest, that I really need to understand me. And I want to thank all the people that shared before me, because there's some stuff that some people share I'm going to get the CD so I can listen to again, because I can identify with everything that everybody was saying. And I'm just real grateful that I got an opportunity to come up in here. Even though I don't know y'all, I know y'all. Even though y'all don't know me, y'all know me. So I'm going to close with this. What is our message? Our message is that an addict can stop using drugs, lose desire to use, and find a new way to live. Our message is one of hope and a promise of freedom. When all is said and done, our primary purpose is going to be to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. Thanks for letting me share, and I'll keep coming back. Thanks, Russell, for being here. Love you.
Thank you, Gerald, for speaking. And our next speaker is going to be Eva J. from East St. Louis.
East Boogie.
My name is Eva, and I'm an addict. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the God of my understanding for being there clean, and thank y'all for being a part of my life. My topic is getting in my own way. You know, when Miss Kim called me and told me about the topic, I'm like, why was she asking me that? And some said, half of your recovery, you've been getting in your own way. You know, and the reason I say that, my clean date is December 24th, 1997. I got 15 years. My home group is at 2801 State Street in East St. Louis. We meet every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You know, and I can remember I ain't gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna go here. You know, I can remember the times since I got out of my own way. I can remember the times I got in my own way. You know, I can remember back 3-4 years ago, even further than that. I remember sponsoring my own self for 5 years. I knew then I had gotten in my own way because I had stopped letting people sponsor me. I'm like, okay, I've been around here long enough. I know what to do. I done worked the 12 steps once before. I shouldn't have to work them anymore. And every time a sponsor suggested something to me, I got rid of her. I didn't need her anymore because I wasn't willing to do the stuff. Because I had worked the steps already, I figured I didn't need it. I rested on my laurels and I found myself getting in my own way a lot of times, and I caused a lot of chaos and pain, not only in my life, but other people's life as a result of it. You know, I can remember I'm going back 3 years because this is where it all started for me. You know, I can remember when I first got here, it went all the way back, they told me don't get in a relationship. 6 months clean, I was 3 months pregnant. And I've been rolling ever since. And you know, when I heard a lady sharing, and I come to realize I had been trying to find a place in my life that was comfortable to me, because I got a control issue also, especially when it comes to men. I like to control men. And when they ain't doing what I'm doing, I done got burnt out. They ain't doing what I'm doing, I'm not happy. When you hang a stick up under me too long, I done got burnt out on you. Now I'm ready to get rich, and I caused a lot of pain in my life as a result of that. You know, I started sponsoring my own self. Whatever I said do, that's what I did. Because I was my own sponsor. You know, and I found myself trying to do some stuff that I know wasn't right, but self-centered had creeped in so deep because I hadn't shared this with anybody. And I had these friends that were cheering me on. Every time I did something that was not right, they cheered me on. You know, I didn't have no friend that said, even no, that's not right. I don't blame you, girl, I do it too, and blah, 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 and blah, blah. And you know, it was a disaster. You know, when I found myself, I remember, I think maybe about 5 years ago, I went to Mobile, Missouri to share a meeting. And I got back from Mobile, Missouri, and I stopped at the coffee house, and I made a conscious decision to do something not only cause harm in my life, but I hurt some people's, man, that did not even deserve to be hurt, because I got in my own way. I got in my own way, man, and I started hurting people, and I started hurting people that, it's not so much that I got hurt, I hurt some people that, like I said, didn't deserve to get hurt. And so now I'm at this point where, okay, now I'm trying to find a way out. You know, I go to these stores before I did all of that. Man, I'm doing these things and I know they wasn't right. So I'm going to these stores, I'm shopping, trying to, because I don't want nobody else to see what I'm doing. People knew. But if I put on this outfit, they might not know. If I buy these shoes, they might not know. I kept on trying to cover up evil. And everybody knew. Then I started going on, that didn't work for me. So I started going on the boat, and man, I maxed out my debit card, and I'm at the bank lying to these people at the bank that somebody stole my debit card. Thank God they gave me my money back on my debit card. Then I went to the sex, doing things I didn't want to do. Mind you, I ain't never been one of those to do the toy thing. I went there because I'm trying to make the pain go away, and I just couldn't. Nobody never told me, Eva, you need to stop doing, you need to get out the way. You need to get back with your sponsor, get back with your God, and find your way back to where you were before. Nobody never told me that, because, mind you, I said I had these friends that was cheering me on, telling me it was all right to do what I was doing. So I went on and stuff still, and I made that decision to tell that lady, and all kind of chaos hit the fan, and look at here. And I really had got shamed. I was at a point that I was ready to leave Narcotics Anonymous. Ain't nobody, I shamed myself. Because, mind you, I'm going to tell you how that worked. I'm dating this guy, and we had dated 10 years, and we broke up, and then God dumped me that I left him for. He dumped me, so I'm going to go back to him. And I knew he had a woman. I didn't care. And I started dating this man for 5 years. And I made a decision to tell that woman I was sleeping with her man. And when I said that out of my mouth, I said, well, if somebody told me they was sleeping with my man, they'd have still been getting my toes out their ass, and I meant that. But once it come out of my mouth, I couldn't take it back. But I had a plan, just getting in my own way. If I tell her I'm sleeping with her man, she gonna leave him and I can have it. That was my plan. And I'm not ashamed to say it. That was my plan during that time. But mind you, even in spite of all the chaos they went through, our calls and all that stuff there, they stayed together, and I felt like crap. I felt like crap. I was ashamed to go back over in St. Louis. I stayed away for about 2 weeks, and some said, you need to go back. You need to make this right. Mind you, when I told that lady that and I got home, my spirit convicts me. My spirit ate me up. And I got down on my knees. I don't know if nobody ever know what just the thought of an elephant on your back. I got down on my knees and I asked God to forgive me. It felt like I floated up off the floor. Okay, God had forgiven me. But in my heart, I still hadn't forgave myself. Okay, now I got to go and try to forgive myself. And I called myself. I went around. I tried to hold my head up like I ain't but I was hurting inside because chaos was all around. People pointing their fingers at me and calling me this and calling me that. But I did not find it necessary to use, and I kept coming back. And I got to a point that I started praying constantly, and I asked God to forgive me. And then I was able to forgive myself. Okay, I done forgave myself. Now I need to go to these people, and I need to ask them to forgive me. And I asked God, when he see fit, the time and the place for me to forgive these people, let his will be done. And I was at a meeting. I was sharing at a meeting, and they were sitting on the front row just like this. And I made my amends, and I was set free that day. I had finally gotten out of my way in that situation. And in spite of my feeling was still there, I don't go back today. I don't do nothing to hurt people today. You know, and before all that, you know, and I belong to another fellowship. I go to on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday, and I mean, all the chaos was there. I went up in that place and I told them people, I stood up and told, I don't like none of y'all up in here. The same way y'all told me when I got here, we gonna love you till you learn to love yourself. They didn't say it in the exact nature, but that's what they meant. And I love every last one of them today because they nursed me back to health once again. Just like the Rooms of Narcotics Anonymous did when I first got here. I was broken when I got here. So I made a decision, okay, I'm done with all of that there. I stopped dating, I stopped having sex for 3 years. This here, now I'm getting out of my way now. I stopped everything but going to meetings and going out on Friday nights. I didn't do no dating, I didn't have no sex, I didn't do none of those things. Because it was for the first time in my life I got a chance to spend some time with me. Something I had never done. And it felt so good. And mind you, I had this thing. I ain't dating no old man. Sorry. And just a few months ago, God put, I don't know, I can't say it's God, I don't know. I don't even know where it's going. I started dating a guy that's 55 years old, and he's good to me. I don't put no expectations on him. I don't do none of that. Don't ask me where I'm going. I'm not going to ask you where you're going, and none of those things. I don't do that. You know, because I found out when I started controlling stuff, everything I touched when I was just most chaotic. And I was doing that clean. Doing that clean, man, you know, and when I was going through that process, man, and self-centeredness, it was so selfish of me. I self-centered creep thing, and man, and looking here, I was on the pity pot. And I was still, I don't know if I was still, when I was sitting on the pity pot, they threw a pity party. And I was the guest of honor. I had resentment there at the party. I had anger there at the party. I had a whole lot of guests at the party. And they was cheering me on. You go, girl. And I knew then death was on its way. I was on my way back to the dope house. So I had to go back to God once again and ask him, let your will, not mine, be done. God said, well, I had a sponsor. She decided to go to another fellowship, and I ain't got nothing against it, because when we get clean, I don't know what God gonna use us at. But I said, God, now I need some help. You got to send me somebody And God sent me my sponsor. I heard her sharing it in my home group one day. And I asked her to sponsor me. She tell me, and I still ain't working on step. Because I'm still, and I'm being honest, I'm still at this thing where I done worked them once, but I'm just being honest. That's one thing Eva's not going to never do. I'm not going to sit up here and lie on me. But my sponsor, she loves me in spite of. I know she's going to give it to me, but I'm right now, I'm at a peaceful place in my life. And I know I got to get back to working the steps over again. Because they said we don't work them just once. We work them over and over and over again. So I'm just applying the principle of the fellowship in my life right now. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know how to apply the principle to my life. I done worked the 12 step. I need to get out of my own way. That's what I need to do. So that's what I do today. Now I'm trying to get back. Now this is some new stuff. This is getting out of my own way. I'm one of those addicts that I got 14 grandkids and I like to stay at home with my grandkids. I can fuss at them and they're going to love me in spite of. That's what I like to do. My sponsor tricked me into coming up here and I thank you for that. I thank you for that. This is where I break the ice at. When I got on the highway, first thing I told her, next time y'all go somewhere, don't leave me. Because this peace, I was sitting at the hotel and she said, what's wrong? I said, this sense of peace. It's quiet. I got 5 or 6 grandkids at my house every day. It was a sense of peace, and I liked it. It's time for me to take some time out for me. And that's what I do. I got this thing where I think I'll be trying to make up for not raising all of my kids. Now I'm trying to do it with my grandkids and all that. And then there's a lot of stuff go on in the world that happen, and I just don't want nobody to do nothing to my grandkids. That's my thing, you know. But I'm at peace today. I am finally at peace. I'm all right with me. I was 13 years clean. I did not even want to look at my own self in the mirror because I had made a mess of my life. Now I'm able to look at myself in the mirror. When I go to my closet and put on my clothes, I ain't trying to hide nothing. This is what you get. Because finally God is working from the inside. He's working on me in the inside. So I got to maintain the outside now. I got to do something. I can't stand around and let God do all the work. I came in here a dirtball bomb. And I'll be damned if I'm finna look like one because somebody's thinking something different because I feel like one on the inside. I'm not going to look like one on the outside. You know, I'm finally at a point, man, that I'm content with my life. I'm really content with my life. Now it's time for me to get back to the steps. You know, I love this program. I want to thank you, Kim, again. You know, I done met some of my sponsee sisters. This is some new stuff to me. Sponsee sister, what is that? You know, other sponsors, we didn't have that. I didn't have that. But I got an opportunity, man, and this is the starting point for me, you know. I'm just grateful to be here. I love everything I heard from the speakers, man. I'm going to say this. I said, everybody shared today. I said, ooh, they just wrapped up being in my own way, all in one whop. I said, I'm going to quote what everybody else said. And that'll be it. You know, thanks again, Kim. You know, I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.